Yo, what's up, Freddie?
What's up, Shady?
We
Yet another podcast.
Got our beer delivered to us this time.
Yes, the guest brought us some beer. We have a very special friend and creative person, someone that we really respect because someone like us really strive and put his passion into supporting the creative community of Shenzhen. An architect in one of the major landscape firms over here in Shenzhen. Also his own studio, founder of the Design Social Club, many other activities. PechaKucha representatives. The next one is coming soon, so we will talk about it. Michael Patte, welcome to our podcast. It took a little bit to introduce, but you do so many things as us that it's very difficult to sum it up. So we will let you go with that. I hope we didn't say it. I'm sure.
Thank you for the invitation. It's great.
No, it's our pleasure.
Yeah.
We crossed each other in Nantou a couple of weeks ago. And we know that you were going to organize something, and
yes,
I guess that is yet another interesting layer of creativity coming to Nantou, thanks to you and your team.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
No, so yeah, on September 25th, we will organize a Pecha Kucha here.
Right.
So you know Pecha Kucha, of course, but maybe some
Yeah,
people
explain
don't
it
know.
like for maybe a lot
So
of
Pecha Kucha, it's actually a very interesting format for designer, artists, architects, and all these kind of people that have to share an idea and want to express. But as usual, the speakers are always talking too much. So Astrid Klein and Mark Ditton created in Tokyo long time ago, like in 2003, I guess. I forgot. PechaKucha format. So it's actually just a format. It's each speaker have only 20 image and 20 seconds per image to present their idea. So it's very fast and of course the PowerPoint will turn automatically.
It's like self-playing.
Yes,
right?
exactly. So you have to follow your
have to
PowerPoint.
keep up with the pace.
Exactly. So it's a very interesting format because it's actually a great experience for a speaker to learn to make your story short and attractive.
Manage your time.
Yeah, manage your time, etc. So it's great for to share an idea, but also to train on storytelling, etc. So we are organizing that since 2009 in Shenzhen.
Right.
That's almost 13 years already, and this event will be 45th. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, volume 45th. So it's a lot, and we are happy to be here in Nantou. You know, it's becoming a trendy place. So and we will have probably more than 10 speakers at night.
Wow,
So
that's
just crazy, and we have a very big name coming, and we have also some designer or actually it's much more than artist or designer. We have also people, some musician, etc. Some different profile, very diverse, and it's what I love the most in Pecha Kucha. It's like you can jump from a fashion designer to an architect to someone just coming back from a travel or whatever, and it's making the event really cool and really diverse.
Also because I think that beyond the topic, I really like this format event because it's about the beauty of the storytelling.
Exactly.
I mean, building up the story to be catchy.
Yeah.
Of course, you're talking about something interesting, but the way you have to build it up, it's almost like a short movie, you know, building up the audience and stuff. So it's nice.
And the part I like the most, it's from the culture of Pecha Kucha, is not a lecture room or big amphitheater. It's really a community-based thing. So everyone in the room one day will be welcome, already welcome to talk. So everyone can talk. And it's not a lecture where you have the professor or the people who know and people listening. So we really try to create this community, and you imagine in 13 years I think we have been gathering quite a lot of people and mixing really this diversity of profile, of experience, of dream, and that is really inspiring because behind all of that, the big idea, it's from the frustration of a designer arriving in China 10 years ago, or a bit more, when you have been working so hard non-stop, and you feel the work, the life, it's just draining you, and all your idea, all your inspiration, everything like disappear inside, and it was really hard to get inspiration and just renew and know what people are doing. And I think I really believe in the multicultural aspect, and how the different field can feed each other, and how we can really learn, get inspired, feel the trend from a fashion designer, photographer, etc., and that can really inspire our own design and make it much better, open mind, and really creating a theme. What I'm fascinated about, and I think you are doing exactly the same thing, and Shady also for a long time. I remember your cartoon about the DJ and the night scene, etc. I think it's really interesting and I think we are on the same fun. It's really to get people together and recognize and somehow I will say put some spotlight and reveal the thing, actually,
right.
Because so many people are doing amazing things in their corner, but if they don't have you,
but
and
nobody
maybe
talks
not
about
Pecha
it,
Kucha,
right.
we will not realize how interesting Shenzhen is.
How long have you been doing it here?
Oh my god, it's like 13 years.
I remember like
13 years.
13 years in Shenzhen.
Yeah, at that time we have much more thin. Right. I checked some photos. I said, "Whoa, that's so bad." Yeah. So
what brought you to Shenzhen at the very beginning? I mean, we know each other since many years, but maybe not since the very beginning. I've been here 11 years. You've been here before me. What brought you here?
Yeah, in fact, I live in very comfortable life and city in France. It's just next to Geneva. So it's kind of nice and fancy district where during the afternoon you can swim in a lake where the water it's blue and clear, 3 meter deep. You can still see the bottom, etc. It's something that we don't experience so much here.
Not even in Italy sometimes.
But it's really incredible, it's this very beautiful lake, so you can sail, you can enjoy the beach, etc. And then in 20 minutes you can be in a ski resort. So in the same day, depending the season, of course, you can ski and then finish your afternoon the foot in the lake and having a cocktail and nice barbecue. So it's very very fancy place to live, very beautiful.
What is the name of the place?
It's Annecy. It's just next to Geneva. And I don't know why I feel my life is just too nice. No, I don't know. Sometimes, in life we have a funny idea. I just feel my life is too nice, too easy. And I've been thinking, okay, and of course I have a friend, etc. Big party, big stuff, very easy, very simple. And then I feel bored.
Enough.
So, no, I say, okay, if I don't have challenge now,
when?
Well, when exactly, and how we'll enjoy when I am older to get a place. And then I decided to come in China because China was far. I didn't know anything about China. I don't know Shenzhen. I didn't know Shenzhen even at that time. But actually, in 2007, no much people know about Shenzhen in Europe, to be very honest. And then I arrived here. At that time, I had very lucky offer and very great offer. So the company that invite me for 1 month to just travel here to see
experience
and decide if I want to come. And yes, of course, it was really interesting for me. A scale that I was just so surprised. Everything it's a big design studio in France is like 20.
Right.
You are already a bad guy because you are so business oriented, You're
right.
You're a capitalist somehow,
20 people in Europe in the studio means like, wow,
you're already something, and this guy is focusing on money and not on design. And then I arrive in a big international company with at that time we have 35,000 designers worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah. In Shenzhen only, I think, less than 200, 150.
So it was a foreigner company?
Yeah.
What was the
American
name?
one, ICOM.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it was just that my second experience in China, and for me it was just like
whoa.
You know, our Chinese culture to integrate the big corporate system that I have no idea about, you know, because it's about design, but it's also about internal politic in this kind of company. It's really important. You have to understand how it's playing, etc. Well, so it was a big stuff, yeah.
Big challenge.
Yeah, big challenge.
Out of the blue.
And I remember my first time, during 6 months, I didn't have any weekend. And I even remember one day it was like 3 a.m. working on my computer like a beast. and then I said, oh my God, I'm so tired. I want to go home. Yeah. And then, I checked my time. I said, come on, it's 3 a.m. You can go home. And I check around me. Everybody is there. Everybody was still working.
Right.
And then it's 3 a.m. and you feel guilty to go home, you know. You're
sneaking out.
And I arrive home. I say, what's wrong with me? You know, it just, it's not possible. Yeah, I mean, and when I say, the work is draining, it's really true. Yeah, so it was a really, really interesting period. Yeah, and it's at that time I decided to first. During 3 years, every time I came back home, I have to write, just like like a teenager girl, a guy who writing, it's no problem. I respect you, no problem. But just like a teenager writing in my book to
it's like a diary.
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah, exactly. And to it was a blog. I'm sure that the people don't know what is a blog anymore. But anyway, so I had a blog, and I've been writing. I had to write every day.
But for yourself or for the company, you mean?
For myself.
Ah, okay.
But, and
so you put this online?
I put that online.
You still doing it?
No. That's interesting. Quite interesting. I don't know, but it's an interesting story for me. During 3 years, I have to do that every single day to somehow release give sense to the thing I cannot understand. Okay. It's just like crazy story that happened to my work, who is so different of my natural culture, you know, my own culture, and then I have to catch up to try to give sense. So it's kind of funny story that are taking my reality. And I caught it with my understanding. So it's not true. It's not. I didn't pretend to explain Chinese culture, but I just explained Chinese culture through my eyes and my fantasy, my understanding. So it's sometimes funny, sometimes stupid, and sometimes more like poetic or complete. Yeah, totally crazy. And during 3 years, I have to write every day.
Okay.
And the funny part, it's one day they had a kind of competition in France for a woman magazine, and they sorry, I need to stop that.
I forgot to tell you to put the phone on silent.
Yeah. I was in silent. I just opened it. Okay. And then it was this woman magazine, and I sent my blog, my text, and they decided to publish me. So the funny thing, it's I never do it to be a writer or whatever, but my fantasy about China become a book, official book, and I have.
I didn't know.
Yeah. And the interesting thing for me, it's after a while, it's just like, and I love to write. I love to find the word, to play with the word, etc. To express idea. I love that. I think it's so interesting. But one day it just disappeared, and it's when I started PechaKucha. It's like because
like the desire disappeared, or like
the need,
the drive.
Need,
okay.
The need, the desire disappear, and I feel I can go out of my room, of my little bubble after 3 years, and I can start to do something. And then we have been starting to do PechaKucha and other activity like coaster ride, etc. with to do more research about the city involving the network we have been creating with PechaKucha, to somehow also give a sense to the city. Because what is really interesting, what I've been trying to do with my blog, it's exactly what I try to do with my event, actually, is try to give sense to this new city, because I feel we are so lucky to live in Shenzhen from almost nothing. I mean, in Nantou, I shouldn't say that. from a very small residential like Nantou and Dapang to a giant, powerful city. And what is the sense? How we can define this place? What is really Shenzhen? And that is, sorry, I do a monologue, but especially when you are French, people will say in China, when you are French, you are romantic. French equal Paris, Paris equal romantic. Okay. And then you are French, whatever, wherever you come from, you are Parisian and you are romantic. So it's helping when you are young and with hair. And it's helping a lot, but it's not so true. But the important thing for me, it's how a city or a place where you come from can so much define yourself, and that I'm really interested in this thing, you know. But when we come from Shenzhen, who are we?
Who are we, right?
Yeah, and what defines the identity of Shenzhener and Shenzhen thing? So what I try to do with the event, it's always question. Actually, I'm still in this non-stop for 12 years, and look, it's crazy. Questioning the identity always. Where are we, and what make a place special? That's my work as designer. But how we define ourselves and where it's coming from. Is that something that coming from the top to the bottom, from the government or developer, etc., that develop a project, create a district, whatever, a big beautiful thing, and bring the storytelling from this marketing team or this designer, whatever, and try to brand the story, or it's really happening through people. And I think my passion about people and just like you again, getting different type of people, different creative people, etc., to see how together. It's just like this image, you know, we do with a little pixel of different color or even the face of people, and you can create another image. It's this kind of thing that I feel I'm still looking for the identity of Shenzhen, and that's who the people we can meet and the thing we are doing here.
I always say that one interesting thing, like for all of us, that when we came here 10 years ago or further, we very rarely met someone that tells you, where are you born? In Shenzhen. Because back in those days, they were maybe 10 years old or 12 years old, 15 years old. Now, after 10, 12 years we are here, this 24, 25 years old person, they are around, maybe they work in our offices, they send a CV. You start to understand that pattern of real Shenzhen-born generation is now out, up and coming. This is interesting because we all know how Shenzhen grew so fast in many different ways. I mean, not only the city, but the power of producing, the power of, all the companies that moved here now is almost like the Silicon Valley of China. Everything grows very fast. I ask myself, but if I'm born in a city like Shenzhen and all this around me, this miracle happens around me, and for me this is normal. Anywhere I go, either I will kick asses to anyone, or I will be super bored, because in Italy, if I want to do a building for the government in front of here, it takes me 3 years only to do the papers.
Just to start to.
In LA, they want to do the train connecting to San Diego and stuff. It's already 30 years they're talking about it. Here, after the government made a meeting, the week after there is a competition coming out, they give you 2 weeks to submit something, boom, it's done. It's like
3 years it's made.
3 years it's made. Imagine. Sometimes I try to put myself in the shoes of a young kid that grew up in Shenzhen and takes this as normal.
That's exactly the question. But me, the young kid is also very interesting. But I'm even more fascinated with old people with maybe 80 years old, because wow, but who experiment such change of culture, of value, everything system in one life, because I remember we did an event called Coaster. The idea is so you take a map, you take a beer coaster that we don't have here, sorry for your table, and you throw it in the map, and then I invited artists, designer, intellectual to explore this site and create some content, the content they want. And then in one we did in Bawan, I had the chance, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, to have this old, let me not make a mistake, he was a sculptor.
Okay.
But in fact, he was trained in some of the best art university here in China. And what he liked, it's painting. But at that time, when he was young, his teacher said, "Oh, you're painting, just okay." So maybe you have
do sculptures.
Yeah, exactly, do sculpture. And then all his life he did sculpture, and the same sculpture of leaders, etc. And he enjoyed very much, but inside, he still loved to do painting. And when we invited him for this event, he came, and I remember very humble, and he said, "Hey, can I do painting?"
Finally.
Yeah, welcome. And then, he was really
super happy,
but also very nervous because he, everybody have been pushing him to do a sculpture. And then the very, very interesting thing for me, it's the painting he did. It's in Bawan. It was an old house. And the old house was in terrible shape. It's leaning and ready to fall. And all around, we have a high-rise building. And when we did the Pecha Kucha matching the event, the guy explained that this painting represents himself. And this old house, it's actually him. Because all his culture, his value, his principle have been shifting so much. And his surrounding of this high-rise building with another meaning, another value, another principle, etc.
Wow.
And just doing this kind of stuff touched me so much.
Yes.
And almost I wanted to cry because I feel, wow. So yes, the kids are very interesting because how they can manage all. It's normal, and I have a son here, and he will be. Sometimes we say, "Hey, that's your country," But I mean, for this old guy, I say, "Wow," how you can manage such big change. Because it's almost old regimes.
A shift, total shift.
It's at least 3 kind of big shift, at least in one life. You say, wow, yeah.
But also at the same time, like you said, by being here in Shenzhen, this person that has been an affirmed and let's say popular sculpture artist. At the end, he make it to be able to express himself also through painting.
Yeah.
And this is also one of the things that I think is very beautiful of this city, that when people meet, as opposed to, as I always say, to Europe or to the US, people meet, they might end up talking about problems or complaining. Here, anyone you meet is about what you do, what do I do, and talking about what we can do together.
Exactly.
And things can come true. I mean, I arrived here as an architect randomly because they sent me over. Now I'm in my studio, starting a clothing brand, we're doing podcasts. Everyone that comes here, if we manage to stay here because of, I don't know, the energy and the vibe and the connections that are happening here, you'll end up doing something that was never part of your plan. I'm sure you didn't come to China to do PechaKucha.
No, of course not. But it was just opportunity and needs and yeah. And for me, PechaKucha is always a beginning. The way to create a community, to create the link with the people, to move to the next level.
Right.
And it's why this kind of event we have been doing. I'm always using Pecha Kucha because it's a great event. I love it, but I'm using that as my base, as my
as a trigger, as a sparkle.
And from the people I meet, I try to do other things. So today with the design studio, it's sometimes a bit more difficult to. I mean, I'm getting old, fat, and then I don't have so much energy than 10 years ago.
Right.
But I still really want to do it because for me, it's really so important to participate. And it's so amazing in the city that and 10 years ago it was especially true. It's any small thing you do can be part of the history of the city.
Right.
You know, and that it's just amazing. I've been talking about your little drawing. I think really never lost that, because you have been recording one moment of
history of the city,
of the night scene in Shenzhen, and that will be history. I remember when I came here. It's a Guy Delisle. It's a Canadian guy, I think, who did a cartoon book.
Yeah.
Oh,
very beautiful. I love it.
You know Shenzhen.
Yeah.
And when you read this, it's finished. When you read this book, you cannot recognize Shenzhen. And what is amazing, I mean, this guy is good, man. It's lucky for Shenzhen. But even whatever the quality of what you are doing, I mean, of course, we try all to do our best. But whatever the quality, it will record a moment. And especially in the last 10 years, I don't know if the city will slow down, etc. But I don't think too much. Maybe we will see. But every step, all your podcast, all your cartoon, everything we do, the event, etc., are part. Yeah. And I'm thinking one day maybe someone will use that to
understand how it was, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing. And I feel very lucky because you are in Paris, in whatever. You have establishment, you have authority, you have history, background, etc. You bring your little stuff. But here, it's a big city, very powerful, with actually still a little, now much more than 10 years ago. But,
structured.
And I feel so lucky just for that, to be able to wisdom this evolution just all this time, and somehow humbly participate to the definition of something.
Yeah.
With the PechaKucha, you were talking about its photos, and 20 photos.
20 slide, image.
20 slides.
Yeah.
20 seconds per slide.
Yes.
Could a presenter do like instead of slides, it could be like 20-second video clips?
Alors, yes, of course. Or music, it's possible. The only thing, it's we have an official website, international website, where we can only upload photos, image. So yes, for local audience, it's fine. But if we want to put it in this global website that archive,
but you could theoretically take like a screenshot. One screenshot from
it could be. But for example, some people wanted music, or or the sound, and unfortunately we cannot offer that. So it's an issue, but I think really PechaKucha, it's amazing. I think today it's I forgot the number, sorry. I think it's more than 1,600 cities. It's present in all the cities all over the world, all the continents, and it's just incredible to imagine, because it's a volunteer, it's non-for-profit. It's something really important to say. So it's all these guys, just like us, willing to do something for the city, for the community, to get people, to get what's also a personal need also, of course. But to get all together and sharing that on the platform. I think really PechaKucha is a really unique format. And it starts without any promotion. In fact, the two architects I mentioned in Tokyo that found this event never wanted to expand their event. They did it for their studio because they have a venue and they have a bar or whatever, and they wanted to find something for them. And people join and say, hey, can I do that in my city? Yeah, of course. There's no copyright, there's nothing. and then like that, nobody have been invited to become PechaKucha organizer, and it's just volunteer. And it's I think it's really the beauty of this movement, of this idea of doing things for community, and also for myself. I enjoy to be really honest, but it's just beautiful thing.
Do you have to apply to be the host?
Yeah, effectively, it's one city organizer per city. One organizer per city.
So if there's already a city has an organizer, you can't
No, you cannot, but
or
you can.
would you refer to him, like contact?
Exactly. Yeah. If someone want to do a PechaKucha, so two formats. If it's a PechaKucha that will join, for example, a Biennale of Architecture or a special event, it can be a PechaKucha powered by PechaKucha, and in this case, I don't have to involve in this stuff. It's directly with a headquarter, and they have a deal with a headquarter. But me, I'm in charge of the local community here and the regular event.
Right.
So it's what we do, and yeah. So you can have several PechaKucha, but different format. Yeah.
And the webpage is like also like community based where you could like go to Shenzhen and see the members.
Exactly.
And connect with each other.
Yeah. The main idea, the web start to be is developed now and will be fully international. So now we don't have Chinese language, but we will have that. And the idea it's effectively in Shenzhen. You can go to check for an architect, to a photographer, etc., and you can even have his presentation. So, in my dream, in my idea, it's PechaKucha could be an amazing database to find to have a PechaKucha as your own profile, and see when you want to look for an architect, designer, artist, photographer, whoever. Yeah, you can check his PechaKucha and see what. Yeah,
I would say it's a relative to the TED Talks. You know, the TED Talks. There is the major, like official one. Then there is the TEDx that is like locally organized by university and stuff. And the format is that one of a person doing a keynote speech. Can be 5 minutes up to 20 minutes in that case. But then the format, the stage is all the same, and it's all an online database. So it's similar.
It's kind of similar. Just the different. Maybe it's. I mean, I'm talking about TED, not not TEDx. Huh? TED. It's honestly, I feel a little bit bored because I feel the preparation behind. What I love in PechaKucha. It's very humble and spontaneous, and some people don't know how to do it. And the game with a PowerPoint moving itself, some people you will feel it's very long presentation. Right,
the thing is going and they're still there.
That's like really interesting.
And what I like, it's really. We don't need that much preparation. You don't have the joke at the right moment, the little drama, etc. So it's really a way of, for me. I mean, I'm talking about TED, the one on the proper one, the real one. I mean, I'm tired to watch that today because even if the presentation are just amazing, I think it's amazing for 20 times. The 20s, I start to, a
bit more staged or.
Well, I feel a bit too much, But that's just my.
No, but I get the point.
Yeah.
I think that the beauty, as you said, that of the PechaKucha is that, I mean, beyond the format, is that it's really involving the community, and it is for the community.
Exactly.
The TED, not TEDx. The TED is like. Big names talking to the world.
Exactly.
It's like.
And it's this relation I mentioned at the beginning. It's like professor or and audience. You are here to listen. In PechaKucha, it's why I don't like amphitheater for PechaKucha. We are going to a bar, and it's sometimes a bit cruel because it's a bar, and sometimes if the presenter don't really interest, don't
people
mind.
Start talking,
you
drinking.
Go back, and you take your beer and you chit chat. It's somehow not that formal, but also what I love it's easy to go to speak to the guy after and having a beer or anything else and just sharing because it's a community base. It's really different format. Yeah. So we are not reaching the star. We want to really communicate and open for everyone.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes is also, to tell me if I'm wrong, but sometimes, let's say, we that have the chance or the interest in organizing events, sometimes we spot like interesting people that we know they're doing something cool that maybe they never talked about that.
Yeah.
And like inviting them to a PechaKucha, pushing them to do that, come to a podcast, share that, do a video with them.
Yeah.
Is like a way to
Exactly.
bring that to the others.
Exactly.
The other people would never know, and themselves they would not do anything to, let's say, promote it or talk about it.
And after so many years doing PechaKucha, I realize sometimes it's because in PechaKucha the format is really fast. For the next presentation, we will have like 10 presenters, so we don't have too much time to sometime in exchange question, etc. It's not exactly the format for that. So it's why I've been creating on the side of PechaKucha the design club, where I just invite 3 speakers in a very much more relaxed lounge, and to really create this community and having the time. The focus is not much. It's less on the presentation, but also the social networking, etc.
Right.
So it's a different format. It's much more exclusive on the design club. PechaKucha will be free and open to everyone, and it's a sharing stage. It's open stage, kind of. And design club, it's actually much more exclusive for professional and really having the time to exchange. Because always my frustration somehow it's to have so many people involved that dedicate time, energy, and passion and to share with people, and because the format is also fast and it's fun, but sometimes I feel it's too fast. So I'm trying to have these two dimension, because it's two sides I love. PechaKucha is more like a fun and party and exciting, and design club may be more business oriented. Where you can really meet the people in the audience,
like professional audience and professional speakers.
Because the big difference between a PechaKucha, I think, in almost everywhere and China, it's I don't know why, but in China, after the PechaKucha, normally it's still PechaKucha, After the music of Mozart, the silent is still a Mozart, but here it's many people are coming to PechaKucha and leave after the last speaker.
Oh,
and I think that it's something really, somehow we are missing a point of networking, because I think all of that it's an excuse actually to meet more people and to discover and chat, etc. So I really invite the people coming to the next one to grab a beer, a drink, whatever.
So will you serve beer or drinks at
we
the
will be in the main in this building in the
ID
factory, in the staircase
theater.
here, and we will have a bar just on next door. So I think it will be
the Golden Cage. I mean the
Cage.
existing bar. Yeah, so it's perfect.
And also opposite. So I think it's really easy for people to stay, and we will have a DJ, etc. So we really want to create the atmosphere for people to meet and share ideas, and so it will be a great and some performance, some surprise also, but that
will be good. Well, that's something that all of you should make sure you put in your agenda.
We'll definitely be there.
We'll be there. Literally, we are above the space right now, so it's gonna be very easy for us.
Yeah.
And in case some of you will miss it, we will do some little video sum up about it. It's gonna be nice to vlog about it. No, it's nice. The way you organize events and stuff is always very, let's say, personal and fun oriented. I mean, you can see when someone does it in a way that he enjoys himself, or it's just done because he is, I don't know, your business or part of your things.
It was really interesting. Again, when we started the event, people ask me, why you do that? I say, because I love it.
They don't understand.
You have a business plan? What is the plan behind? No, I'm losing money on each single event,
We understand very well.
It's really interesting because it's, the point, it's really to, actually, it starts from myself, to feed myself and meet more people and and know what architects are thinking, again, photographer, how they do their work, how they conceptualize their idea from an idea to a form or to an object. I think it's so interesting. Yeah. Talking with a fashion designer, it's really fascinating to see where it's coming from, and how you go to the product, to your design. Yeah, a graphic designer is the same, and the inspiration, etc. Yeah.
The creative process
Exactly.
is something that is fascinating in any way. Even creative process. I don't talk about creativity like the artsy, fartsy genius, like architects, artists, but literally how something is created. Or the way it's made. That is.
And I think something very interesting and funny. It's we try to understand creativity. We try to develop or to support creativity. But more I go in my career and more, I see things, I feel it's somehow something like a God touch or God help. It's like it's happening to my work, but I think also when I'm listening PechaKucha, that sometimes you cannot just explain. It's not in rationality stuff. You have an idea that it's like you, and it's why PechaKucha is really important. It's like you accumulate element, image, ID, whatever. You don't know this thing will feed you. And one moment when you are in front of your problem, your question about your design, it's something that will come and give an evidence.
Okay.
Yeah,
everything comes together.
But you don't know the magic. It's really hard. But I think it's really important to develop its own culture. And when I say own culture, of course, it's book, whatever. But I think this kind of events are really helping to understand other idea and to open windows actually.
To feed your own archive of subconsciousness and ideas that will end up.
I was really surprised. Sometimes I've been working in big international studio where I've been presenting PechaKucha, and we are all designer, and I say, hey, next Saturday we have a PechaKucha. I say I say how you don't need that, because I feel it's so important for creative people.
Absolutely, man.
To get this impression, to get out of the office, and then meet other idea, meet other angle or aspect to create your own personality, to own identity. It's really, really crucial. You like it, you don't like it, you whatever. But it's all feeding yourself to give you some weight when you have to face something, to give an answer. And for me, it's crucial.
But it's true. It's like we were talking also recently with some artists, friends, and guests of ours that. It's really important for someone, especially that works in a creative industry, that you are supposed to create something, to be able not to end up in the boredom of redundancy. Like when you become very skillful and very successful, then you might end up tangled into just doing that thing.
The same thing,
But if you're getting too busy, you need to go to a museum, find a hobby, make up some art for yourself, go talk to people, because that's what feeds your mind for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether it's reading books or whatever, there's no way that anyone can go on and be, I don't want to say be on top of what they do, but being happy with what they are doing if they don't have that little sparkle and change every now and then.
I think it's exactly that. I think it's exactly about sparkle. It's this different little fire you can light, and somehow again, just like a constellation, or they will take form one moment and give sense. So when I'm talking to young designer, and I'm more and more talking to young designer because I'm getting older and older. So I really believe it's super important to be curious, to be to get out of office, meet people, and share ideas. It's just everything. And it sounds super stupid, but I know really plenty of design studio and designer in this design studio that are just sorry for them, because sometimes they have no choice, but just spending their entire life without just going outside. And it's really sad.
So we know what brought you to China, and obviously making events is not your full-time job.
No.
So what are you currently doing now?
So I'm a landscape architect, but I also do urban design, and we are also involving a lot in.
It's your own firm?
No, it's not my own firm. It's I'm working for an Australian company.
Australian?
Yeah, so it's why when when I present the studio with my French accent, people say, so I have to explain. Yeah, it's an Australian company, but I'm not Australian, obviously. So what I like in this company, so it's called McGregor Coxall. It's not the biggest firm, but it's for me it's really this no compromise on design. And I think it's why maybe it's not the biggest firm, because when you can compromise and deal, you can continue your project and probably whatever. But it's really what bring me in this company is that we want to go sharp, we want to go deep, and we want to somehow push to the next stage. And sometimes in business is not good. It's not a good idea. I think the best business is to understand your client, where is he, and just give him what he wants, maybe a little bit more, but not too much.
Stop there.
Yeah, stop there. But what I like there, it's a big dreamer. So I'm today a design director for Asia, and it's a great responsibility because I have to bring this brand here, and it's sometimes also interesting when you are doing event, because I think in plenty of people mind my identity is maybe a little bit blurred because because I with the event,
you're the petanque guy.
I'm also the petanque guy or the PechaKucha guy, and you say but it's also my design. My main activity is a design, and it's. Exactly. It's kind of blurry, but for me, it's actually crucial. I think if I have the chance to be a good designer, I believe it's because all this annex activity that feed me, I need it to be creative, and but sometimes here it's not but maybe everywhere actually it's not very well understood, because probably people believe I do that for my fun, and it's a bit of true, but it's really because I need it. If not, honestly, it's too much. I mean, the intensity of work here, the project, the demand, etc. It's just killing it.
The speed of things, man. Like you were saying before. I think a bit in all businesses, but for those like us that are in the construction, architecture, design thing, like we are for what is normal for us is not normal anywhere. Whether it's a competition or a client, you will get maybe 1 month to first put your ideas together. Here you get 1 week, man, and after 1 month you have to deliver.
No, for sure.
But how do you feel like? Because I have this struggle also to myself. It's not that I'm planning to leave China or something, but if for some reason I don't know, now with COVID, let's say I was getting stuck out of China, man, I don't know how easy it would be to resettle your mind in a short time in anywhere that. Even if it would be New York, I still think there is not the same rhythm. Maybe in a big company, then you have that rhythm because you're doing 4 or 5 projects at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's
but
not
the approach
yet
is
the
also
same
different,
thing, right?
Yeah. I have no idea.
It's a very good question. We don't want to find out.
No, it's a big. No, I know. I always compare myself to hormone chicken, because when you go to McDonald's, I don't understand. When you go to a KFC or McDonald's, you have this chicken. No, but you see the fillet, the legs, huge, and you never see the body, and you say, how is the body? So I feel, I feel like I'm a chicken with a big leg for concept, etc. Giant leg and a little body. Because in China we are, especially the foreign designer, unfortunately, yet we cannot do all the steps of project. So we do a concept schematic and start to draw more in detail. But after, a Chinese company have to
LDI
to
take over.
Yeah. And then I always feel I'm super strong in the concept, super productive on ID, storytelling, boom. And then when it's about construction,
Don't fuck, wait, hold on.
no, but we are good and we are involving, and we are following. But it's still really this practice that I think it's... it's so important to be earth on the ground, the foot on the ground, and really understand how things are happening. And it's why also with the event, I don't only organize PechaKucha, but other events that I've been mentioning earlier, like Coaster Rail, Window of My World, etc., where I really want to reach the community, to reach the real people living, and with some roots here to really give sense. The design, beautiful ideas, it's nice, but if the beautiful have no foundation, no roots in a reality of people and understanding and in the social and the cultural aspect, so
it's meaningless.
and it's happening so many times, giant beautiful idea, are not working everywhere. It's really important to adjust the concept, the design to I mean it's I love this country. I love to work here. It's really interesting. But really now what we are pushing, it's all this construction to be able and all really involved in following our project as far as we can
to ensure that
make sure everything is smooth and really our idea can be built and transformed in the reality. So that is really important.
So like with your firm, you have an office here in Shenzhen.
Yes.
And obviously Australia, right?
Australia and Europe also.
And you're where in Europe?
In London.
London.
Yeah, Bristol, and we will open London soon. Yeah.
So you guys are doing projects in where soon?
Sorry?
You said you're going to open another office somewhere else?
No, we have an office actually the UK office is in Bristol, but we are planning to open also London.
Love Bristol.
Okay. So you guys are doing projects in Europe, Australia, China?
The company, yes. But sometime we're involving in other studio, but still because we are one of the youngest studio here. We also have all our director helping and participating because we do environment and urban planning, and for example we don't have this guy here, so we are using the competence that of our colleague,
the expertise.
So
how big is the office here?
We have like 12 people now.
12?
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
Nice, man.
And small, but it's
in Europe would be you're doing good.
Yeah, but here you feel we are 12.
Right. But you think you're 12 here, you have the office in UK, you have the office
this is
in
the
Australia,
totally opposite, like that. I mean,
and I don't think it's about the size of the office.
It's never about size,
It's about the
quality.
Tell
my wife every time.
Right? Also,
you made a baby after all.
What a well-structured office of a, let's say, small size for Chinese standard, like our teams, let's say less than 20 people. In China is considered small. But what can produce? Can produce as an office of 40 people in Italy.
but like also too, like when you think about like the office sizes, like okay, like you come here and there was 200 people or something in the office, but like I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but in Australia you're only doing a handful of projects here and there, and UK you're only doing a handful of projects in Europe. But you think about like all the development that's been happening in China in the last 20 years.
No, is that
You know, it's impossible to do it unless you have 200 people.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and there's so much like, it's really like a crane city. Like every direction you turn, you can probably see a crane in the fucking you know, skyline.
Yeah.
So, what you don't see in like Los Angeles, you don't see in San Francisco. Maybe like one or two.
Yeah.
You know, but here it's like down the road, down the block. Okay, there's a new subway coming over here. Now this road is gone for 2 years. You know.
Yeah.
So.
And it's somehow what I like here also. It's when we do a design, you never know. I mean, I did a design built that lasts for 2 years, maybe less, because
you don't know how long it's gonna be there.
No, and I mean,
what do you mean? But you design something that's.
I mean, I designed, for example, a plaza, a park, and it's built, and 2 years later, it's another project coming, and they have to redo it. So we spend, you know, the.
I see what you mean. Okay.
And it's just like, it's in constant evolution, and it's somehow what I like. And I mean, it's a strength and weakness that nothing is fixed, and you know, everything can move fast. So when you make a mistake, it can be repaired. It can be it will be better next time. And I really like this approach. But it's maybe not the most sustainable, efficient, and you know, and reasonable way of doing. But is no establishment. I mean, for me, the notion of establishment and thing, you know, very strong that, you know, you have to follow. No, things can change, and I think for creative people, it's really, really interesting. Yeah, even if it's changing a lot, but it's always this room to explore further, to try more, to. Yeah,
especially here in Shenzhen, because I think that beyond China we all know, but Shenzhen is really like a tabula rasa of doing things, experimenting new things, and they want to embed this, whether being part of the city or being part of the whether it's, you know, a building or a new transportation mean or a new vehicle or a new system or a new whatever. It's experimental ground that I think is quite beautiful. And I think, especially in this period of COVID, where not many things are, of course, happening smoothly around the world, everybody now start looking at Shenzhen, especially in our industry. Everyone wants to come and open an office in Shenzhen in the last
By the way, guys, it's a mistake.
Don't come.
Please don't. Or contact us. We can help you.
No, because it's cool. Like, you know, what I love about this city, right, is like, and I guess it goes to like China on a whole, is that like there's 100 like top tier projects happening right now in the city, as opposed to, you know, London, for example. You know, they just got like the new Ferris wheel over, you know, over the river. You know, but here you have like a new skyscraper that's going to be built in Longgong. You know, you have this crazy, like, jellyfish-looking thing that's happening over here in Sheko. You know,
we'll let you talk about the architecture.
You know? And then like you have like stuff like Nantou, where it's just like, you know, bringing life into, you know, the old kind of villages.
But
you know,
somehow I think we have been very spoiled. Because last year it was a year of 10 major cultural facilities, international competition, and it was just Christmas on our table, and that's why I developed this event and turned as a video finally, one more night, because we have all the superstars coming to play to design in our city. But you know, it's just like Christmas every day, every months we had a new competition with a name you are dreaming about. You know, it's like they're coming, you know, it's like Christmas in Paris or whatever. You will have one major
One big
competition.
one, yeah.
But just like last year, it was 10, and it's why all the guys are coming now because they believe it's a golden here.
Right.
But it's finished. No more money, no more projects.
The golden goose landed over
No,
here.
actually, it's really it's happening, and today I'm a little bit worried because the market is a bit less strong than last year for sure. And opening a new company today in the city, it's a challenge. Yeah, but it's exciting because it's happening, and again we see, and you will see that you cannot put it.
No, it's putting in, and man's recording.
No. Anyway, no, I will not say that because not after. Okay.
Now we all want to know.
No, you will edit, so it's not good.
After the PechaKucha.
After the PechaKucha.
No, cool. Hey, by the way,
No,
we
it's
can share for those of you that are following and don't know. You're also doing this podcast session that you just mentioned, One More Night,
exactly,
with internationally renowned
but it was for me just like Christmas every day, and I feel oh my God, all these names are coming in the city, and same thing. It's about identity, where we are, and how this guy will create the next landmark or one of the next landmark of Shenzhen, and how somehow they will create one big stone to identify the city, to tell that is a city, to tell the story of the city.
Can be tricky.
And I think it's really interesting because they are international star, and what is their vision about us, about our environment, and how they will define, especially when you do a cultural place or a museum or opera house or different kind of thing like that. It's really giving. In Sydney, the opera house have been transforming the entire city. But last year we had 10 projects like that. So how all this piece together will bring the next level,
happening at the same time, because
happening
that is the
in
thing.
the same time.
They are not referring to anything else. They are like, I get the
and
point.
in this very fast path, what kind of value, principle, understanding of the city you are bringing? What kind of vision you are bringing for the next 10, 20, 30 years? Yeah, and that is fascinating. Again, a constant movement, constant changement and change, and how you shape something. And now we start to have a shape of Shenzhen.
Absolutely,
we are able, but 10 years ago,
zero.
It was really difficult to define. And
even now it's not simple because
no, it's not simple,
but
it's more. It starts to be more clear. It's like a blurry image, but again, it's somehow all this little piece that define a city is not necessarily the big vision. The big vision participate, but in the reality, it's the little individual that will create the beauty of a plaza, a beauty of an experience. When we go in Italy, in a village or whatever, you will have, the cafe. And the cafe is owned by one guy with his own culture and tradition.
Right.
And next one, you will have a pizzeria, restaurant, etc. And to go to the cliché a bit, but this guy brings the real flavor of the place, And I think in Shenzhen, it's growing, it's developing, and. What is the main dish of Shenzhen? Because we have people from all over China coming to develop their life and their business here. But what is the iconic dish of Shenzhen? We don't know yet.
That's true.
What is... again, I always feel so amazed because we are in such amazing region. You have Hong Kong with the Brit and all the story, Macau with the Portuguese. You have Guangzhou, the traditional Cantonese, and in the middle you have Shenzhen growing like that,
like crazy,
and checking. You have a tripod very strong, and you have this city growing and shaking everybody and every else with no Cantonese or few Cantonese, but with Mandarin. So it's just like an island of what? I don't know. In this middle, in this areas that have been already quite diverse with all this international. I mean, it's an amazing region here. Yeah. It's amazing. You know, it's already just in the tradition before Shenzhen. It was already amazing to have all this this influence in the Cantonese culture, in this Mandarin more. We are in South. We are different. And then you have Shenzhen coming with something totally different also.
I mean, I think like
amazing.
Shenzhen's like the most important city in the world that nobody heard about.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's super true, man.
That's lovely. Yeah. I cannot say more. It's beautiful, yeah.
But for sure, because it happened very fast. But I guess that the crazy thing, we talked about this before, is that if you're not, let's say, somehow involved because of your business from outside with Shenzhen, you would never hear about Shenzhen because you think Shenzhen, Shanghai, China, from outside.
Hong Kong.
It's like the city next to Hong Kong.
Yeah. But that was like that before, but not
anymore. Now it's taking over, but because it is not...
I would say that's still like that,
what I mean is like in terms of pop culture of the medium person in Europe, because there has been no movie shot in Shenzhen, there is not an iconic touristic arrival. In The Lonely Planet talk a little about it, in that sense.
Yeah, and also you guys are in the architectural field, so you guys are watching, like what's happening in all the different cities around the world and who's doing what, right? That's your circle.
But our grandmas,
but other people like my family who are doing whatever, teaching, high school English teacher or math teacher, whatever my uncle is. There's nothing in the news or in pop culture.
They would know Hong Kong. Maybe they would misplace it geographically, but
10 years ago, it was really zero.
Yeah, it's still so.
And even when I came, I didn't know the city at all,
Same.
And then you arrive here. Woo! What kind of
Also because you couldn't even fly to Shenzhen. You would fly to Hong Kong, and they say, we go across the border. Oh, really? I thought it was.
Yeah, of course.
I thought the project was in Hong Kong. No, it's in.
Yeah, man. I remember 2003. I arrived here for the first time. And it was just like Lohu. That was all that Shenzhen was.
Yeah.
There's a few. You still had like the districts and stuff, but as far as like iconic buildings and places, that's Lohu, man. I still consider like the Lohu like
the real center of Shenzhen,
the real center of Shenzhen. I bet, but maybe because like it's a place that like I saw first.
It's somehow
identified.
It's somehow I believe the real center of Shenzhen is Shekou, but that it's another.
Because you live there.
No, Shekou historically is the beginning, but Shekou and Shenzhen are two entities different. Shekou first, then Shenzhen is Shekou. Shekou, that's the real story. But the real Shenzhen is Shekou. Actually, we should live in Shekou, not in Shenzhen.
Yes, and Shekou was like a... It was like the first port, right?
The very first beginning of something, And then, don't put that on stuff, but it's all interesting political stuff, It was really two entity, and
you mean back in the beginning it was like
the beginning, and don't put that on the podcast. It's also it was also Shekou actually tries so many. Thing like a democracy, free speech, free newspaper, etc. And then they developed Shenzhen, and slowly, with Nantou, they took over Shekou. So it was just incredible period. We had like I think it's about 3 years or something that Shekou was really experimenting.
But
everything.
what year was this?
About just 80 something. 1980.
1918.
In the 90s or 80s.
Oh, 80s.
Yeah, 98. Yeah.
Okay.
In
But even like we were talking about
in
this
80s,
in our vlog that we didn't release yet about like Nantou, but literally when you arrive in Nantou, right? There is the gate.
Yeah.
That was the wall between Dongguan
Yeah.
municipality
Exactly. And Shenzhen. And somewhere else.
and the other land, because if you're talking 600 years ago, they didn't even know
Yeah.
what Shenzhen is, but it was part of the Dongguan, literally. And actually, until I think 92, I don't remember, I have to go back to our vlog to see, until 92 was still not part of Shenzhen, this area.
Yeah.
So then,
But what I like the most here in Nantou, it's when you go to the church. You have I don't know exactly the name, but it's like a church. It's like a mission actually, and they are here for a very, very long time.
really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You don't know?
Where?
You have actually a mission, a Catholic mission here with a church.
Inside Nantou village?
Yeah, just next door. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and it's totally hidden, and it's actually it's from the missionary, the European missionaries that came here to evangelize China.
Oh.
So it's super old,
Wow.
and
okay.
they have been building their community and have been that. It's just next door. It's you go down and you find the way.
Okay.
Like I need to leave the village to find it, or is it actually in the village itself?
It's here. It's
2 streets away. Okay.
Yeah, just 2 streets away in the village, in the wall. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's fascinating, yeah. And it's a very old. It was like you have the priest, etc.
It's
Yeah,
Catholic?
yeah, it's Catholic, yeah.
Okay.
But it's so interesting, and
That's
that was
crazy.
it's very old. I forgot the year, but
Is
it's,
it like a whole building? Like
Yeah.
you would notice from
Yeah,
outside, it looks
Yeah,
like a church.
yeah. You have you still have a church, a community, and you have
Okay.
also
Oh, Chris, I need to go and see it. I don't know.
Where's the map? We have the map of Nantou. What do we do with that?
We had it.
I'm so curious about that.
It was under renovation. It's almost as interesting as
The amusement park.
I don't know which one I prefer. Maybe I have some
We had
photo.
the map.
But
Yeah,
ask
we got
Marianne.
one.
You should. Did you interview Marianne about Nantou?
I invited her already.
Yeah,
She
she's on
didn't
the
come
list
yet.
of
She's,
people.
Yeah, because
She knows a crazy amount of history.
she's crazy. I
No,
mean,
no, she's
before we have been working a lot with her, and when we did this, so Costa Rica, it's a creative city exploration, and the idea is just to explore like that, and we've been in Nantou. It's so interesting. Actually, it's super old, and this Catholic, it's like when we discover them, it was
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, Marianne would know all the secrets and stories.
Yeah,
about
because
all the
she's the
places.
one. Yeah. But again, Shenzhen is, I mean, it's not plenty, but still a lot of surprise like that, and sight with the story. You know, where I live in Xiwan, we have one of the emperors that have been killed because it was a transfer of a dynasty, and the emperor was just a kid, like 3 years old, etc. And the guys taking care of him decided to throw him through the how you call it, the cliff. Yeah. And it's so we have one last emperor die here in just 10 kilometers from So I mean, it's still it's a region with history, with lot of things. It's not only the opium war. Don't put all of this stuff, but it's all the opium war, etc. That is. Maybe one day will be interesting because with the new government, with the new way the government is, I think that might come back somehow. That but we have history. We have a lot of things that happen here, and no, it's fascinating. Yeah, in fact, you have Nantou and Dapeng. What was the two main stuff, and after But the history, the rivalry between Shenzhen and Sheko, it's amazing. Deserve a book, but we cannot write it.
Okay.
I mean, it's plenty of stuff like that. That are still a bit. But
we are lucky that by being here we get to know things little by little. But
it's fascinating.
No, it's really interesting. Yeah.
So, what are your big projects that you're working on right now that you can talk about, or you're proud of, or that you've just completed?
All my projects I'm proud of. Not all, but most. Now we are working in Shenzhen, in Futian. We work on line 10 of subway. So we are redesigning the streetscape, And what is interesting there in Futian, it's we have a lot of community involvement. So it's a double question. It's how you design a big avenue to promote the city and create something wow, but in the same time, how you do also a space for people, for the mama to dance, for the kids to play,
yes.
So it's a very interesting game of dealing with this different scale, different ambition. And I think that it's something we are very proud. I think we are also very proud of our project in Daishan Island. It's near, it's between Ningbo and Shanghai.
Right.
And in fact, it's a fisherman island that asked us. It's a competition we won last year to recreate or to reveal, rather than recreate, reveal the island identity.
Okay.
So through the city, because the city have been developed like most of Chinese city, and how we can bring this feeling and this identity of back to the island.
Nice.
So I think plenty of our projects are the same things that what I'm always doing, trying to. And it's maybe funny for a foreigner to say that, but really trying to understand where we are, what we do, and who, and how the place can reflect our own personality, our own roots, etc. And
also involving the community a lot. I can
exactly,
see, there's a layer of
the identity, the community, the culture, etc. It's all embedded in our design. So it's really what I care the most with the environment. So it's this kind of two direction every time in our design, the social and cultural, and the environment. And then in middle we try to have these two things. And just about this question about identity and why a foreigner is caring so much about identity, and because I feel at the end of the day it's what really make us who we are. I'm so amazed, and I think I tell you that before, why every time we meet people the first question is where you come from, because it's somehow the place where we live, or where we have, and you have been talking about the kid in Shenzhen, the place where we come from define ourselves. And sometimes I hate to be French. I hate to be French. Sometimes I hate French also, but but deeply inside, maybe I'm romantic. At the end of the day, maybe I should admit that I'm romantic, even if it have been annoying me so much to say, you're French, you're romantic. No, I'm not romantic, But in fact, maybe yes. And I really think, again, in all these cities in China that have been so beautiful historically, culturally, with so long history, so much content, and then with this fast development, it's like everything fade. And I'm fascinated to understand how we can bring back the site, the environment, the real condition, how we can not fake, garden, park, but really trying to water management, and, how we can bring back a real connection with the environment and the culture and the society. So it's about really creating something authentic, actually. Yeah. I think what we miss the most, it's, now the country become rich, people, have other expectation. And I think when you have other expectations than just eating and, surviving, it's about where you come from and who you are. And I think it's really the next level and next stage of the development here. And I think this project here in Nantou, it's a typical example.
It shows that,
It's tried to go back to the roots, and in same time, reactivating that and say, we are part of. It's our origin.
Yeah, it's like it's embracing the old, but also welcoming the new.
Exactly.
No, also because, jokes apart, time flies. Not only we are getting old, the city is getting old. It's not anymore the city that was built yesterday. We are start dealing with some pre-existence soon.
yes, we did.
is as old as us, more or less. So, let's deal with it. But, yeah, fortunately, the cultural layer of the city is growing, not only because of the big project that we are talking about, but just because of like the single individuals and small scale or medium scale events that we as creative people are bringing to the community. So for all of you that love this and to participate, the very next one is going to be the Pecha Kucha here in Nantou.
Yes.
Come earlier to have a drink with us in our studio.
And it's a free event, so but it's important really to book, because I think we will have plenty of people, and then really
you have to sign up first.
Yeah. That will be better to guarantee your seat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we will share somewhere down here a link or a page or whatever, and now it's coming. So make sure you sign up, come over to Nantou, and
let's have a drink.
And let's have a drink.
Of course.
What time is it starting?
7:30.
7:30. When's the poster coming out?
Yeah. Sorry?
When's the poster coming out?
Yeah, tonight.
If you're listening to this now, it's already out. So check it out down here and see you in a couple of days.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Michael. We are
Done.
Out. Boom.